that is the sound of the jar of names. We should pick out a name. Right, so this video is for everyone, including but not excluded to Max Ravage. In back in the jar of names you go then. So welcome to A Cup of Tea in a Podcast. This is the cup of tea. And this is the podcast. Right, if you want to head down to the skip list in the comments section, might be there, might not be there yet. You can skip ahead to this week's update, to this week's topic, this week's question, and this week's goals. But we'll start with the update. First things first though, very hot today in the UK, so my fan is turned on. If you can hear it, I apologise, but I'm not turning that thing off. It's so hot, I will melt halfway through the episode. Anyway, yeah, we're still behind. This is out, obviously, about 10 days after it was supposed to be out, which is not great, but it's not too bad because at least it's out now, so we can actually start doing some stuff and getting it all done. But yeah, catching up things doing pretty well so far. We'll talk about it later in goals, but everything's being rendered and uploaded roughly in a quick format, which is good. The only problem is the podcasts and the couple of adventure videos as well, which is obviously being a problem right now. I feel like that's going to be the thing that kills this catch-up goals, I suppose we should say. But we'll see how well it works. We'll talk more about that later in the goals anyway. So now we're going to go on to topic. Let's see what videos we've got coming up in the next few days. So we've got podcast right now. That's what you're listening to. Hello. Podcast. Hello. Right, and then later on we'll have a Dishonored video called Which Witch is Which. I'm pretty much sure I've done this sort of title before, but as we're dealing with witches is a very good title to go for. Then after that we'll have two Dark Chronicle videos. One's called Now Hiring, because we hire some people. And the other one's called Space Butterfly. That's a reference to Jesse Cox with his Space Butterfly characters. And obviously we deal with a butterfly that looks like it's from space. And then after that we'll have a Dishonored video called Weeping Angels, dealing with the witches. You may know this. Yeah, if you know what Weeping Angel is, you know the sort of enemy type we'll find in this episode in Dishonored. And then we'll have two Dark Chronicle videos, one called Good Night Rainbow Butterfly, because we defeat the Rainbow Butterfly, simple as. And the other one, it's a very good title I feel, it's called Birds of Prey, but it's a P-R-A-Y, because it's a religious site that we get to, and there's loads of birds that are there and involved in the story, so I like to call it Birds of Prey, because I feel like it's quite funny. And then we'll have a Dishonored video called Gingerbread Houses. I actually said this last week instead of the Mad Hatter video, because I must have got it wrong. But yeah, this is again dealing with the witches, and it's the Hansel and Gretel thing, I think, is where it was a gingerbread house or a sweet house. I can never remember which house it was, but it doesn't really matter too much. And then after that, we'll have a pointing episode of Dark Chronicle called Sindane Hunt, because we're doing a photo hunt in Sindane. Hints for videos. Well, the last video was the Skyrim release diary. It's a new blog thing I'm doing. It's what I wanted to do blogs for. It's so I could sort of show you how I'm getting on with new games that I'm playing if I can't do a full let's play of them straight away. It's just another avenue of exploring games and hobbies and stuff, which is what I want to do. So for those of you that said blogs were boring, hopefully you'll find it's not, because there's going to be videos on there as well of like what I've done so far and how I'm doing stuff, and maybe my character backstory and why I chose some things I did and what I'm doing with my skills and stuff, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. But yes, let me know what you thought of that, because I feel like, because I haven't actually done it yet, I feel like it's going to be really good, but we'll see. Yeah, but now the next video for Couple Adventure that's going to be out before the next podcast is actually hidden within the White Loaf video. It's pretty simple to see. No one's found it as of yet, but it's in there somewhere, and it's like the letters. But it's not me saying them, it's actually visually. So that's another little clue for you, but it's in the White Loaf video. Okay, right, so now we're going to the community section. Let's go through the Mention Monday. So these are the people that commented on last week's videos since the last podcast, so not week actually. 1 second. So the podcast, Mention Mondays, these are the names. We have one from Spudley Dudley, Dragonlord 55511, Horrier, Max Ravage, B Razor, Bernard Tamir, B Man Ben, and Josh Howells. So yes, thank you all for commenting. Nice comments this week, particularly from Josh Howells in particular. Yeah, everyone just had nice comments really, but that's the one I remember specifically. Others will be mentioned later on in the podcast as well, so we'll get to that. Right, let's go on to the Q&A then. So we've got two questions this week. One's from Spudley Dudley, who says, riddle me this, JD, what has a heart but no other organs? Now, I believe this is a city, because you can have the heart of a city. which is actually a very interesting link into this week's comment later on, because we could talk about the Manchester incident, shall we say, where it was nice that the city all came together, and it's like the heart of the Manchester sort of came together to help everybody out, which I think was really good, but we'll talk about that later on. Now we're going to go to Horia, who says, are you a Legend of Zelda fan? I am a Legend of Zelda fan. It's very similar to the Final Fantasy story with me. Like, I've never really finished any, apart from one. The first one I finished of Legend of Zelda is the very first game, because it's not very long. But I've played pretty much all of them. Ocarina of Time, I came so close to finishing, but then I stopped because I wasn't a completionist back then, so I didn't really care about stuff. But yes, but I am a fan, and the reason why you said is because you want me to check out a fan-made comic called A Tale of Two Rulers. And apparently you did say you were talking to Max Ravage about this. There's a dub version as well online, which would be quite interesting. I'm very busy with other stuff, so I don't know if I have a chance to read it. But this video, I might be able to watch the video. So if you can let me know what it's called, I assume it's called the same thing. Then I'll check it out. Right. So now we're going to go on to subscribers. So then, last week we were at 1,332. We've now gone up 2 names to 1,334. And we've got 4 new names actually on the list. That's pretty cool. So this week we welcome to the community Jack Yates, Erwin Yelp, Red Siren 20, and E Mortic. So yeah, welcome all to the community. If you're a Legend of Zelda fan as well, let me know. Right, so now we're going to go on to question. Last week's question was about E3, what you're looking forward to. I said I was very hyped for it, because I am. Spudley says he is looking forward to Xbox having nothing to show. LOL. I'm not really sure what games I'm looking forward to, except the ones you said in the video. Yes, there's so many good games. I think this year Xbox are going to be focusing on Project Scorpio rather than games. I think for game-wise, Sony's probably going to win out of that. But then, there was something about Bethesda that I was really looking forward to as well, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, but then EA might have good stuff as well, because they've got the Star Wars stuff this year. We'll see. I can't wait. Oh, it's going to be such a good E3. And then Bernard Tamir says, E3, he's not really hyped. If he was going, he probably would be. But if not, he'll only go for Paradox. Is that the game which is a bit like Overwatch, and it's the one that I thought wasn't as popular? Of course, when I type in Paradox, it comes up as an actual Paradox definition, which is not what I want. I want a Paradox game. All I'm getting now is the company Paradox Interactive, which I have heard of before, but I don't recognise any of the games that they've done. Oh, Magica. Oh, Magica. I know Magica. Maybe they produced it, I don't know. Nope. I don't really recognise any of these games apart from Magica. That's weird though, because I have heard of the company. It's so strange. Strange. Yes, yeah. So hopefully we'll see something from them. I'm not sure. Is there a new Magica coming out? I can't remember. I think there is, isn't there? No, not sure. I have no idea. Anyway, right. So this week's question I've actually completely forgotten, which is big shame. But I said it in a podcast, in a video on Dark Chronicle. It was a video game series. Oh, that was it. There's a series of games out which I like the look of, and I'd love to try them out. And again, it's getting a new one coming up. I'm just trying to find the name of it. Basically, it's you can control a. Oh, here we go. I found it. But where's the first one? Right. Anyway, the new game that's coming out is called Styx Master of Shadows, and you play like a goblin and you play stealthy and stuff like that. Now, there's another one as well. I don't know if it's a prequel or a sequel, but I can't. Ah, here we go. The sequel. Oh, here we go. Styx Shadows of... Oh, never mind. Can't find it. What's it called? It literally does not say. Or was it prequel? The game is a prequel and the second video game to take place in the world established of Orcs and Men. Is that what it's called? Yes, it is. That's the one. I found it. Perfect. Yeah, it's called Of Orcs and Men, I think. I'm pretty sure it is, yeah. And it's like you can take control of like a big brute orc or a stealthy goblin. And I've always liked the look of it. Don't really like how close the camera is behind some of the characters, but they do look quite good games. I don't know if I can play them, but if you would like to see it in the future, let me know, and I'll see if I can do it. If there's a big uproar for it, then maybe I'll do it sooner than later, but you know how it works. Yeah, so let me know what you think of that, and then we'll see if I can do it. Right, so what's next? It is this week's comment. It is indeed. So, this week's comment goes to the very sad thing that happened this week. And it goes to Spuddy Dudley, who says, "Rip to everyone in Manchester." So it's more like this week's theme, I suppose, more than comment. But it's just, yeah, it's just nice to sort of, you know, take a moment to think about all that, because it was very nasty. Like 22 people died, and it was obviously a suicide bomber that killed. Like, I think the youngest person was 8 years old, and when you think of Purple Cookies, she's 12, I think. So yeah, it's just people younger than Purple Cookies has died, which is it's just no. Whatever you do, you never take it out on kids. You know, you don't take it out on anybody, but specifically, you never take it out on kids. It's very sad as well, and it's just like this stuff happens all the time as well in like Georgia and Syria and stuff like that, and it's just a shame that this sort of stuff happens, and I think it's nice in terms of the Manchester one, because everyone in the city came together. You know, people were helping out, like, oh, if anyone wants a lift home, that sort of thing. And it was really nice how the city sort of coped with it all. But it's just a shame that this sort of stuff happens, and that's why it's this week's theme, because it's worth mentioning, because it you know, it has to be remembered. The people that died, you know, such a shame. But anyway, now we're going to move on to this week's goals. So, last week's I wanted to catch up by Wednesday. That's a fail. Probably going to catch up late Thursday. It's basically because Wednesday I got back from work and I just sat around looking at Overwatch videos all day, because I don't know why. I think it's the heat. The heat really slows me down. I'm not a heat person, neither is Purple Cookies, and we just don't like it. Heat, not a good thing. Not a good thing at all. But this week's goal is along the similar sort of vein, to hopefully catch up by Saturday, so that on Sunday I can do the podcast and hopefully get caught up by the Monday or the Tuesday and be actually on time with videos then. But we'll see how that works out. Hopefully it'll work. Seems maybe a bit of a stretch, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it should work. But apart from that, that is it. So last week's what game it was? Yep, that's my blood. That's a lot of my blood. Now, this is actually from Uncharted. I don't think anyone got it right. I don't think anyone actually said, to be fair. But yes, that's the game it was from, Uncharted. Right, anyway, let me just finish a cup of tea. I have taken some already, but I'll take a bit more. There we go then. Right, so I guess that's it for this week then. So I guess until the next time we meet, I'll say farewell. But in the meantime, I will leave you with... what game? It's high noon.